So, I just got to check out the first couple episodes of the brand new Star Wars show, Skeleton Crew, which, you know what that means? It's time to either talk about how Star Wars is dead or Star Wars is back! Because those really seem to be the only two sort of things that we talk about whenever there's a new Star Wars show or movie. Really just show. They don't make movies anymore. And let me just be honest before I really talk about this show, and of course you read the title so you could see that I kind of enjoy this. I had a good time with these two episodes, but I do want to make something clear. Is Star Wars back or is it dead? In my opinion, Star Wars has been dead for a lot of years now, and when I mean Star Wars is dead, I don't mean the franchise is dead. If it was, they wouldn't be making more TV shows or more movies or selling books. Obviously, the franchise, it will always be around. There will always be new Star Wars content. When I say dead, I mean, Star Wars is not what it was, and I think we can all agree on that. We all remember, at least if you're old enough, 10 years ago back in 2015 when we all went and were seated for The Force Awakens, how excited we all were at the return of Star Wars and just the hype and just everything around that film, the vibes and all the stuff going on around it. That feeling, I don't think that feeling and that love for Star Wars will ever return. I think it is gone for most people, and I don't know if Disney will ever be able to reclaim that. So when I say Star Wars is dead, that's what I mean. Because there was a childhood wonder and childhood love that we all had for this world, this franchise, these characters, and that has been just sort of dwindled. But luckily, they have decided to make an entire show about recapturing that childhood love for this universe. Because that's what Skeleton Crew kind of is. It is a show that is essentially a kids show that adults can enjoy. It's a show about these kids who are exposed to the Star Wars universe and the galaxy for the first time, and we ourselves are putting ourselves in the view and the POV of these kids, imagining ourselves discovering this universe for the first time as we did at one point in our lives. And because of that, the first two episodes of the show really work. Because for the first time, they've actually made a show in the Star Wars universe that is about the magic of Star Wars and not about getting across some kind of, woke studio ideology, which is what they've done with pretty much every single thing they've put out before this. The Acolyte, I'm looking at you. The Rise of Skywalker. And I'm shocked so far that these first two episodes were as good as they are, coming from a studio that is still so obviously out of touch when it comes to their Star Wars property. I mean, remember, like 3 weeks ago, that report came out where they believe that Rey Skywalker is their most valuable character and property? What is wrong with these people? But I gotta give credit to the people involved in this show so far. Of course, this was made by Jon Watts. Jon Watts is the guy that directed the 3 new Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. This is a guy that understands how to make decent stuff. He is a decent filmmaker. Is he a great filmmaker? I don't know, but obviously with this show, he's proving himself so far to be competent, at least when it comes to the Star Wars universe and his love for Star Wars and being able to convey that in form of TV and connecting with Star Wars fans, in my opinion. Skeleton Crew is about these 4 kids who are living on this really kind of strange and mysterious planet. They end up stumbling upon a spaceship. They get on the ship. It accidentally goes into hyperspeed. It flies off into space, and now they have to find a way to get back to their planet. They end up on this pirate planet, and on this pirate planet, they say, hey, we need help getting back to our homeworld. And they say, well, what's your homeworld? And they go, it's called At. And the people on this planet are like, that's hilarious. At is a made-up world. It doesn't exist. It's a mysterious legend, right? This legendary prophecy. There's this planet out there that has this lost treasure. It's obviously not real, and you guys can't be from this planet. So now there's this intrigue of these kids are from this mysterious homeworld, this mysterious sort of pirate legend of this place that has this lost treasure that shouldn't exist, and we have essentially a pirate show about finding this mysterious place. It's like Uncharted, it's like National Treasure, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a classic sort of find this mysterious place or this mysterious treasure type of story. But it's set in the Star Wars universe with these kids who know about the universe. They know about the Jedi and the Republic and all this stuff, but they don't truly understand it because they've never seen the outward world of Star Wars. So they're being exposed to all the mysteries, the pirates, all this crazy stuff, being on a spaceship for the first time, and it just really works here. First off, the dynamics between the 4 kids really work here. Obviously, when you're dealing with kids, you're going to be dealing with some pretty sort of basic dialogue and acting because they're very young, but these kids are all extremely good, and it is fun. That's what this show is, especially with these characters. It's a lot of fun so far. You have, like, the tough girl who's really smart and strong and hates the boys, and then you have the other girl who's, like, Cyclops from X-Men. And it's kind of hilarious. You have the main guy who wants to go on a big, great adventure, but he's a little bit in over his head. And then you have Neil. I am already ranking as the #1 Star Wars character of all time. I mean, come on! These characters all just play off each other really well in such a fun way. The way that I kind of describe this character dynamic is I haven't really seen something that works this well so early on in sort of this large magical universe since, like, the early Harry Potter movies? Am I the only one that got that vibe? I was watching this, like, this feels like the Sorcerer's Stone and the Chamber of Secrets. Just the vibes, the characters, the way it all plays out, how magical this world all of a sudden feels again. It's just that childhood glee. It's such a smart way to get fans back into this universe! Because as I've been saying, Disney is very, very kind of focused on capturing that epicness of Star Wars, the grandness, this giant war universe with these dark figures and these huge battles, but they never understood how to capture the actual magic that George Lucas was able to do with the original trilogy, and even in the prequels and the Clone Wars and stuff like that, they've missed that. They don't get it. And bringing the audience and putting them in the perspective of children in this universe, discovering the universe for the first time, is such a brilliant way of capturing that magic. And granted, this is only 2 episodes. Sometimes, and I've been caught off guard before by Disney with their Marvel stuff and some of the other Star Wars shows, is the first 2 episodes will be really safe, really strong, to pull you in, and then they unleash the woke.
Yes. Yes.
And they unleash it and all the garbage and the stuff you don't care about or want to hear in your Star Wars brilliance and your Star Wars, TV shows and entertainment. They'll throw it in the latter episodes, and that is definitely possible here. But so far, I love these 2 episodes. They're so fun. They're so grand. The budget feels, like, large enough. Like, it doesn't feel like they cheaped out on the budget here. Jude Law comes in at the end of one episode, and he's like this mysterious Force user guy, and there's already more intrigue about his character. Is he a bad Force user? Is he a Jedi? Already better intrigue and mystery around him than any of the characters in the Acolyte that there was supposed to be intrigue and mystery around. But there's just such a brilliant scene where he comes in and he uses the Force on one object. And, I've seen the Force used a billion times in these movies and these TV shows. It's been so watered down. But just seeing this guy pull an object and the kids watching it and their reaction and the music, it felt like I almost cried, man. It was just so magical, and it reminded me of my first time watching the Force being used. Just brilliant. So I'm really excited about the show. I'm hooked into it. Is this saving Star Wars? No. I don't think anything could really save Star Wars. I think Star Wars needs to be reborn. It needs to be rebirthed and kind of created into something new, hopefully outside the reaches of Kathleen Kennedy. I think as good as this show is, as good as Andor might be later next year, I just think there are enough shitty Star Wars projects in the works that even if this thing is amazing and it's not just a 2-episode just slam dunk, it's going to fall apart again. I just know Disney cannot handle this franchise. But I do recommend everybody, if you have fallen out of love with Star Wars, go check out Skeleton Crew. I definitely think it's worth a watch so far. I really enjoyed this. I'm excited to talk about it more as it keeps going on. Thank you guys for watching. What do you think of Skeleton Crew so far? Let me know down below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, turn on notifications. I'll see you in the next one.